And you have to have, I think, a certain knack, a certain feel to be good at it. The same as there are good pitchers and there are bad pitchers. And there's fellows that can throw the ball to the home plate on the first bounce and the fellows that can't. So, as I say, I don't recommend it to anyone but if you want to go that route, it's just great. And you don't have to even think when you're faced with an animal that you want to shoot at. You don't have to think about it. You just go through it, and after you've made a fine shot, you can't tell anybody how you did it. It just happens. And so along comes a compound bow, and I went bear hunting up in Ontario with one of our very first compound bows. And I tell you, I couldn't hit anything. I found that when I tried to shoot a compound bow, snap shooting, when I came over that hump, I'd lost everything. I'd lost the feel. I had no idea where the arrow was going to go. And I tried it for 2 days. And I finally finished the hunt by putting a sight on the bow. And I could do a little better, but I cannot shoot a compound bow. Concentration is the main thing. In shooting instinctively, you will never shoot a good tournament score because the human system cannot stand a whole day of the kind of concentration that is needed to be a good instinctive shooter. The system can't stand it. You'll blow up. You'll have a nervous breakdown if you try to do it. And I think that's true with a baseball pitcher too. He gets tired and he can't concentrate, and they have to take him out and put another fellow in. My system of shooting instinctive, my snap shooting system, is aiming at the time I am drawing the bow, and I don't stick my hand out and pull the bow back like this. The bow is pushed and the hand comes back. And when my hand gets back here to the anchor, which is this finger in the corner of my mouth, the thing is gone. I cannot hold. If I try to hold, I lose everything. I've lost it. The thing has got to go when I get back there because that's when everything is right. The bow hand's taking care of the elevation and everything's working good. I'm not concerned about distances in yards. I'm concerned only in distances of feel. And I found that in distances of feel and distances even that you step off or where the yardage is marked, if there's low ground or high ground between you and the target, the distance is farther than you thought it was. And you have to allow for that. But if I shoot an arrow and let's say it drops low, I cannot make an adjustment. I have to shoot that arrow exactly the same way as I did the other one. And to get a little better elevation, I pull the arrow back a little further. That's the only way I can make correction. And it's a screwy kind of thing, but that's the way I have to work this thing out. But it works out so good for me. I've had such good luck with it. I would hate to try to change to another system, but maybe if I were younger, I would.
What's the best shot you ever made?
Oh, golly. I shot a running deer running past Knickerbocker out in Nebraska. The picture of it is three of us in a gun. Yeah. We're making a drive. Driving up a draw or a canyon, and there were three of us on the stand. I was over on the left side. A friend of mine, Knickerbocker, was in the middle, and he made the mistake of getting in a bunch of brush, and somebody over the other edge, and this buck came through, very nice buck, 8-point whitetail, and he was really carrying the mail, and Nick couldn't. He got himself into these bushes, and he had no way to shoot, and the deer was coming right towards where he was, and he saw Nick, and he had to veer out around, and I saw that Nick was never going to get an arrow off, and I just instinctively threw one over there. It was about 60 yards, and the deer was on the dead run, and I made a good shot on him. That was luck. How I did it, I don't know. I couldn't reconstruct the whole thing. I just know that I pulled up and shot. And my practice in the past had taken care of everything. The body, the human body, it's a great thing. I shot in a tiger hunt in India. We had baited a tiger, and the tiger was known to be up in a draw. And I was up, we were making a film, I had a photographer, and the photographer and the Maharaja were in a blind up on a tree. This is a place where they baited tigers, had been for hundreds of years. And they had he was up in the blinds, and they took some boards and made a place up in the tree. He was up there with the gun and with the photographer. He was protecting the photographer. And I was in the top of a palm tree that had been cut off about 30 feet up. And they put me up there in the ladder, and then they took the ladder away so the tiger couldn't climb up there to keep me company. And then they had about 15 natives making the drive, and they were pounding on cans and shooting muzzle-loading guns and beating the trees with sticks and yelling. And it was a very steep walled canyon. On the other side, there was a stone wall that nothing could climb, and it was about 100 yards over there. I was looking over at some brush that was in the bottom, but here was this stone wall that went up a couple hundred feet. And I looked over there and saw this tiger. And he was pacing back and forth. And the Maharaja told me they had some hunters there on elephants and some other hunters up trees. The tiger had to be killed. This was serious business because these natives were out there driving and, they want to get something out of it. And the tigers wouldn't be eating up their children or their cattle or sheep and goats. So the tiger had to be killed. It was, from that point of view, not a sporting thing. And I expected that to hear somebody's gun go off real soon, and the tiger would be dead and the hunt would be over because it was too far from me. And that didn't happen. And after, I guess it felt like 5 minutes, but probably 50 seconds, I said to myself, well, maybe if I shoot an arrow beyond him, maybe he'll come my way. Rattling around the rocks here. And I shot an arrow that I expected to go over him, but it went right through his lungs, and they had me a tiger. So normally you don't take long shots like that, and as you go hunting, it's the fair chase enters into it, and you shouldn't take long shots with a bow or a gun for fear of not hitting the animal in the right place and crippling it. But we all do. We get excited, and those kind of things happen. But you ask me, or I was asked, and I'm frequently asked, what's the longest shot I ever did? And I shot a deer a little further than that, but that was, I normally don't shoot that far. I like to get real close, but sometimes you can get too close, so then you got a problem also. And I've done it both ways.